For decades, the station wagon was the car for geography teachers and parents who had no idea what fun meant. Then, everyone started buying big, lumbering SUVs. And then, more recently, the long roof design started to become cool again.
Driving a wagon, or one that looks suspiciously like one, is a sign of rebellion and that you don't want to conform to the ideals of modern society. That's where a car like this comes in, the 2026 Kia K4 Hatchback. Their marketing department will have you believe that this is a hatchback, but with this low, sleek roofline, it's akin more to a European shooting brake. Calling this thing a hatchback is like calling the Burj Khalifa a low-rise. In silhouette, it looks like a Volvo, and they are the kings of modern-day station wagons. The designers also tried to make it look a bit like a two-door coupe by hiding the rear door handle into the C-pillar. I think it looks magnificent and way better than the sedan version.
Behind that angular grille, you have two choices for engines. There's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with less power than a food blender, or what this GT Line Turbo Limited trim has, a 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder with 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque.
The turbocharger makes a big difference. Put your foot down, and the car actually goes. Of course, it's not going to overwhelm you with its speed. I mean, it is still less than 200 horsepower, but it is a lot better than the sub 150 horsepower you get from the base engine. On top of that, you don't get a CVT like how you do with the base engine. This 1.6 turbo is paired with an 8-speed auto.
This transmission shifts smoothly and doesn't make the engine drone like a dentist drill every time you set off from a stop. It's not the fastest shifting automatic out there, but for a car like this, it's more than acceptable.
As for the fuel economy, it's rated for 9.2 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. If you're gentle on the throttle, then those numbers are easily achievable. Heck, you can even get better than what it's rated for on highways. But if you drive this car like a jackrabbit, then you're going to get to know your gas station attendant very closely.
When you do find yourself using the throttle a little bit more while on an entertaining road, the Kia K4 Hatchback, specifically this turbo version, is a bit better to drive than the last time I drove a K4. If you go for the K4 with the 2-liter engine, then it comes with basic torsion beam rear suspension, which makes the car as exciting to drive as a damp rag. The turbo versions of the K4 come with multi-link rear suspension, which doesn't transform the car into a hot hatch, but it does add a bit more stability through turns. Steering remains light and vague in feel, with the car being geared towards ease of driving rather than sporty driving.
On the inside, this hatchback version of the K4 actually has a bit more passenger space than the sedan version, but you won't find it up here in the front seats because they are identical. It's back here where you'll notice the difference in space. Legroom is the same as in the sedan. Behind my tall 6'4" driving position, my knees still touch the back of the front seats, and unfortunately, they are made out of hard plastic instead of soft leather or leatherette or cloth material. However, it's the headroom that's different. I get more of it in this hatchback version than I do in the sedan.
Being a quasi-wagon, the K4 Hatchback's party piece is the amount of cargo it can carry. It has 629 liters of space behind the back seats and 1,679 liters with the rear seats folded. That's almost crossover SUV levels of storage space. Under the trunk floor, you'll find a temporary spare wheel.
Back here in the front, you get almost 30 inches of screen on this GT line trim. Both the driver instrumentation and the infotainment touchscreen measure 12.3 inches diagonally, and you get a little 5-inch display in between them for the climate temperature. This little screen is a bit hard to see because the steering wheel spoke is in the way. Thankfully, you can just set the climate to auto and use the physical toggle switches on the dashboard to change the temperature.
The center console is straightforward with a simple traditional shifter and not some overly complicated selector from the future. The cup holders can be deployed at the push of a button or retracted to allow for small item space. And there's a wireless phone charging pad just in front of the shifter that is unfortunately not that fast to charge up your smartphone. But there are a couple of USB-C ports right above it if you tend to carry a cable with you. Safety-wise, the K4 hatchback has a slew of safety systems and driver aids, but not all are standard equipment. For example, the base K4 hatch doesn't get blind spot sensors. If you want highway driving assist, you'll have to move up to the EX Premium. But if you want all of the bells and whistles, including surround view cameras, blind zone monitor, and highway driving assist 2, among others, it's this GT Line Turbo Limited that you'll have to choose.
But don't despair, because even at $35,595 Canadian for this top spec trim, it is right around the same price as the Mazda 3 hatch, which has less space than this, and also around the same price as the Civic hatch, which has less features than this. But if you don't need all of the bells and whistles, then the standard GT line trim of the K4 hatchback is about 3,000 Canadian dollars less expensive. And also, if you think that the 2-liter engine is enough for you, then the K4 hatchback starts at 25,000 dollars Canadian.
So is it perfect? No. It's not the most enjoyable compact car to drive. To some, the styling is a bit look at me, and the 2-liter engine won't set your pants on fire.
But in a world full of overpriced and oversized crossovers, the Kia K4 hatchback is a refreshing bit of defiance. In the meantime, if you would like to know more about this 2026 Kia K4 hatchback, I have a more detailed written review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner right up there. And as always, I will see you in the next car, truck, or most likely it'll be an SUV next time. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.